you don't want society to collapse. And this is coming from a person who doesn't really like the cops. He doesn't really like the system. You don't like the government, you know? I'll admit that. I don't like it. But at the same time, I don't want to get rid of it completely. It is incredibly difficult to set up your own self-sufficient life, like to live off the land or to farm. It takes an incredible amount of work, and it's a full-time commitment. You can't, it's difficult to be a part of society and do off-gridding at the same time. Especially with, there's a lot of laws that prevent you from being an off-gridder. A lot of the laws are designed to keep you in the system anyways, because I guess out of fear, if there's too many people that weren't supporting the system, it would fail. I suppose that's the reason. But overall, I don't want society to fail. I don't. I don't want violence in the streets. I don't want criminals to walk around and do whatever they want. I'd rather we all just didn't commit crimes. I'm not talking about stupid little speeding violations and your headlight wasn't working, so we're going to give you a ticket and we're going to make you go to court because your headlight wasn't working, or your license plate light's not working. Really? A light? That's all you got? And you're gonna take us to court and you're gonna call us criminals because our headlight's out. Okay, so anyway, you know, even with all this, I don't want society to collapse. I don't want society to end. I don't want that. I want us to all get along with each other, even if we don't like each other. Like, do you have to like someone in order to work with them? I don't think so. There's plenty of people I worked with in my past or work with now still today that I don't like. I just don't talk to them. It's easy. And they have attacked me. And there's nothing really I can do. I can't be violent back to them. The system doesn't seem to care because meth addicts are really loved by the government. I swear to God. It feels sometimes that if you're a meth addict, you're going to get away with things way, way, way easier than a citizen who does none. I might have offended some of y'all who get busted by the cops all the time, but you know what? What I've seen, you go to jail enough times, they stop putting you in jail because if you got no money, there's really no point in putting you in jail. So yeah, I work every day. I worked every day for 6 years, almost 7 years. I do the same thing every night. I drive down the road, I deliver my newspapers, and I go home. I do my best if I have enough energy to work on the property. I'm low money. I don't always have a lot of energy, so I don't get a lot of things done. There's a lot of things I wish I could get done. And then I'm constantly working on my cars, which I really don't enjoy being a mechanic, but I've had to learn how to be a mechanic because I ain't paying no mechanic. I ain't paying someone $1,000 for a $150 part. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Can't do that. So I'll do it myself and struggle and learn. That's actually why I got a snaggle tooth, is because I was working on a transmission and a socket came down, landed on my tooth and broke it out, and it's broken out worse over the years because I can't go to a dentist and fix it. I don't got that type of money. But the cops always seem to think that I got a lot of money, and they always ask me for money. But no, I do not want society to collapse. I don't want cops murdered in the street. That is not what I want. I just want to be left alone. Be able to drive down the road, do my paper route, and go home. That's all I want. I hardly ever speed. Yeah, on occasion I speed. I'm going, still, even when I'm speeding, I'm going 10 to 20 miles an hour slower than the average person who's driving on that road. During the day, I almost get ran off the road every time I drive around and during the day because people are they just are unobservant. I don't know. It's really bad. I'm really glad that I get to drive around at night all the time. It's peaceful. I don't have to deal with as much. I just got to deal with the cops all the time. Well, that's shaky, I know. It's horrible B-quality video, I get that. But you know what? Sometimes it's just the idea comes and I want to say it now, and if I don't say it now, I'm probably going to forget. But you know, all these off-gridders, yeah, there's some pretty good videos of off-gridders out there. And some of their tactics is exactly what you do, like using your own feces to fertilize your garden. Yeah, does that sound like a job you want to do? And there's risk in that too. And then there's some people, they got a really good waste management system, and before that water even goes into their garden, it's treated and it's sanitized organically too, not with chemicals. That was an incredible greenhouse video I saw on that guy. I don't remember the name of the video, but there's a lot of really good off-grid ideas. But the one problem with all these videos, and we all know what the problem is it takes an incredible amount of money. We're talking thousands of dollars to even be able to start it up. Not to mention that you still have to pay taxes on the property at minimum. And whatever improvements you do on the property is going to increase the value of your taxes. So unless you have a huge amount of wealth saved up, or you got a continuous income from somewhere, somehow, what doesn't require a lot of work, you can't be an off-gridder. Even if you were able to farm all your own food and all your own resources and everything else, the government's still going to come by and be like, hey, where's our money for you to live here? And you're like, well, come on, I live here on my own. I don't need anything. Well, that doesn't matter to the government. They're going to still require money. So, in a way, being self-sufficient, that's against the law. Let's just be honest there. You're not allowed to be self-sufficient. Majority of all the animals are protected, and for good reasons too, I believe. Like, I believe in certain seasons to hunt deer. I agree with that, because it's just something that has to happen. I don't think, come on out. Yee. Get out. Get out. Go, jump. Thank you. I'll let them run for a bit. Why are you running in front of my car? What are you doing? What are you doing? My dog is just like standing in front of my car. I'm like, wanna run? Okay, some of this might get cut out. I gotta be honest, it is really difficult. Sometimes it's really difficult. Trying to stay focused on what I was even talking about. I'm getting distracted. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they'd be like, you're doing this anyway, you're driving down the road. Oh, I've been driving down the road like this. I'm not saying like I always use my phone, but I'm rather secure. Well, not secure. That's not the word I'm looking for. I'm rather comfortable, and this doesn't really require me looking at the video. I check it every now and then to make sure it's accurate, but I can really just focus on the road. It's just me trying to capture some of these thoughts that I have, you know. And I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm just a paper boy, and I'm not a well-liked paper boy. But you know, not being liked, I'm used to not being liked. I'm used to people hating me or getting mad with what I have to say. Okay, you all are not running. In. One. Raw. In. With these school shootings, I got a point I want to make with these school shootings. Because these school shootings, I hate hearing about these school shootings. It's getting worse. I swear to God, every time I hear about one of these things, it makes me just unhappy. It really does. And it's always coming out the same thing, that they're on these antidepressants, they're on these antipsychotics. And then for some reason they stopped taking them, or they couldn't get them, and it's always the same thing, you know. And I keep hearing about how these drugs make people go crazy, and I can attest to that a little bit. I was on antipsychotics for a couple months in the Army. They took me off of them. I got extremely angry, but I didn't hurt anyone. I told them, hey, I'm really stressed out right now. I need to take a break. And they were yelling at me, and I just walked away because I knew I was stressed out and I needed a break. So I guess, and that's what they also say too, is that not being mentally strong enough to handle it. But you know, how can you be mentally strong if you've been crutching this entire time on drugs to deal with your stress? Like, I don't have drugs to deal with my stress. I got court all the time. I'm getting pulled over by cops all the time. I got cars breaking down on me all the time. My entire life has been stress. That's part of the reason why my teeth have been falling out of my head. It's just the amount of stress. The beanie, yeah, it's not because it's just cold. It's because my hair is going away. It's on here, it's here, but it's not up there anymore. Too many concussions and probably a lot of stress. But you know what? I don't take drugs for that because I don't need drugs to manage my stress. I've learned to let go of a lot of things, and being picked on and beat on all the time at school, that helped. Not at the moment. No, God, no, it did not help at the moment. But I never even in the moment did I want to cause harm to others. I didn't want to kill my fellow classmates. I didn't like them. I didn't want to talk to them. I didn't want to be friends with them, but I certainly didn't want to kill them. Even though they wanted me to kill myself. And I'll tell you this is good while it's fresh in my memory of what I remember. So I'm going to school. I'm getting picked on a regular amount, you know, it spikes here and there every now and then. But all of a sudden, for a couple months, it got really intense on certain days. And it was only from like certain kids. They would be really intently picking on me and pushing me. And they'd tell me all the time, go home and kill yourself. Go home and kill yourself. And I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna go home and kill myself. So finally one day, and these kids were picking on me really bad that day. And this kid walks up to me, he's like, hey, Keith, I need you to do me a favor. And I was like, what do you need? He's like, I need you to go home and kill yourself today. I was like, why do I need to go home and kill myself? And he's like, well, there's a bet going on right now on when you're gonna kill yourself. And I bet that you're gonna kill yourself on blah, blah, blah day. Of course, I don't remember the day. It wasn't important enough to remember. And he's like, so I want to win, so go home and kill yourself tonight. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny nowadays when I think about it. I don't know. This one body language specialist says laughing about stressful things is immature. Yeah, I don't think I fully understood her video, but she sounded a bit cranky for censored purposes. I'll say she a bit cranky. She's been a bit irritable lately. I don't know what her problem is. But anyway, back to my whole point. This kid comes up and he tells me I need to go home and kill myself. Well, you know what? I went home and I didn't kill myself, and I went to school the next day. Because no, I'm not gonna kill myself. You could win, what, 10? I think it was like 10 or $20. Crazy, I know, right? So I think that's why when it comes to these whole school shootings and kids getting bullied and picked on, I think I got grounds to speak. And I think that's why I'm even doing these videos. I'm not the cool kid. I ain't the cool person. I'm not the friendliest of people. I'm a pretty friendly person. But yeah, I'm a dick sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm an asshole. You can just not take it so personal, okay? Like, I've spent my whole life being verbally abused, physically attacked, pushed. I feel sometimes I'm being pushed to be violent. However, I'm incapable of violence. Don't ask me, I don't know. I was just never a violent person to begin with. But getting picked on is not a good reason to go shoot up a school. This is the stupidest reason. That's another point. I made a statement in another video, and I was wrong in that statement when I said that when you commit these acts of violence towards schools or the cops, for example, that too, right? 'Cause you're not helping. You're making it worse. because it was like this I'll give you a story about in the Army that I came from. I'll give you a story from there. But you're not making it better. You're making it worse. And how you're making it worse is you're giving them more and more reasons to take more and more rights from us. Like, I'm ex-military. I wouldn't mind having a gun. Not to be violent, mainly just for hunting. If I ever needed to hunt, like if society was to collapse, I would want a gun so I could go hunting. And for right now, I just have it just to shoot around every now and then. But you know, honestly, I'm not too into guns. And because I was a kid that got picked on in school and I had fit that profiling bullshit, I ain't going anywhere near a gunshot because I don't want to be falsely accused of being a violent person that's going to cause harm to others. So I don't even try to get a gun. Like at best, I was thinking of getting a high-powered airsoft gun so I could get rid of some of my ground squirrel problems. But you know what? Even with the high-powered air gun, I just don't want to. I don't want to buy anything that's gun-related because I just don't want to be accused of being a violent person. So in essence, whenever you dumb kids or you dumb people go out there and attack the cops and die majority of the time and lose, you're not helping anyone. You're making it worse. You're giving them more reasons and more reasons to take away our rights, and I'm sick of it. It's part of the reason I'm making these YouTube videos, which is that at this point I have no followers. Fine, whatever, that's cool. I understand. I just started out. Some of these people have been on there for years, and I didn't think YouTube was going to succeed like this. I wasn't a big YouTuber fan, but I tell you what, fixing about not even 4 cars. I've fixed about 12 cars, all because of YouTube videos now. So yeah, there's a lot of, you can learn a lot of stuff on YouTube if you just look for that and avoid the entertainment aspects. But yeah, you kids are not helping us. You're making it worse. And it's back to the Army story. So when I was in the Army, I was stationed in Camp Korea. Camp Korea. Camp Casey, Korea. And it was the weekend, and around midnight, our NCOs were knocking on all the doors because we had a midnight formation. We wanted to make sure everyone got back on post. Well, there was a lot of people who were off post and then come back to post that night because it was required that you had to be back on post before midnight. So what the Army does is the Army does a mass punishment, and all the people who followed the rules are now, okay, let me finish this. Okay, there we go. So all the people who followed the rule and they were back on post before midnight, they're standing out in formation from midnight to about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, waiting for all the other ones who didn't follow the rule to show up. And a lot of you would be like, that's unfair, that's not right, they shouldn't punish you, you followed the rules. Yeah, that's why they punished you. Not because you followed the rule, but because, well yeah, because you followed the rule and you're more likely to follow the rules and you're more likely to peer pressure other people to follow the rules. There's a lot of the thing, this is a lot of how the military was running. Maybe not anymore, I don't know. It's gotten a little wishy-washy of late. I don't know what it is anymore, that's why I'm out. But back when I was in the military, it was mass punishment. If one person did something wrong, we all got punished. And we all got punished so that way, next time we saw someone doing something, about to see someone doing something wrong, we would stop them. Either stop them or report them, and we'd do something about it, right? And that's what mass punishment is. That's what it was all about. Now, the government and civilian life, it's kind of similar to that. This is a mass punishment where we're all getting punished for the actions of one. And it's really not gonna, I don't see how gun control is really gonna help anyone. If you want a gun, you can get a gun. I've seen plenty of people firsthand, I don't think should have a gun. Have a gun, wave it around, and be an idiot with it. And I'm like, well, I do not like you. I don't want to talk to you, but you know, freedom, that's how it goes sometimes.